Hi guys, welcome back to West Pole. Today I have a Al-Mizan explanation of Al-Falaq. I hope you guys enjoy it. Without further ado, let's get this started.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim.
In the name of Allah, the All-Merciful, the Ever-Merciful. This surah was revealed in Medina and consists of 6 verses. It commands the Prophet to seek refuge in God from all harms, some of which are specified. It can be deducted from some narrations about the context of its revelation that the chapter was revealed in Medina.
قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ.
Say, I seek refuge, Ahud from Awad, from the Lord of daybreak, Falaq. Awad means guarding oneself and avoiding harm by resorting to someone who can repel it. Falaq means splitting, dividing. Falaq is commonly used to mean dawn. Because dawn cleaves apart the darkness, as the expression crack of dawn, therefore the meaning is I seek refuge with the Lord of dawn who splits the darkness asunder. This expression is appropriate for seeking refuge from types of harm which cover what is good and conceal it from others. 2 other suggested interpretations for Falaq are: 1. Anything that is created and brought into existence. It is based on a metaphorical image of the act of creation, where the void of non-existence is cleft apart and an object is brought into the world of existence from it. Hence, Falaq would be equivalent to Al-Makhluq, the created, the creation. 2. A well in hell, as mentioned in some narrations.
مِن شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ.
From the harm of what he has created. That is, from the harm of anything which can be harmful. It is about any potential harm from humans, jinns, animals, or other created beings. In other words, even though what he has created is stated in an unqualified form, it does not imply that everything which God has created is harmful.
وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ.
And from the harm of darkness, ghasab, when it falls, waqaba, from waqub. Siha al-Lugha says, ghasab is the first darkness of night. The verb ghasaqa ya khasiqu is used when the night falls and it becomes dark. Ghasaq means the night after the disappearance of the twilight. Waqab means entering. The meaning is, and from the harm of night when it arrives with its darkness. The verse ascribes harm to the night because 1. The darkness of the night aids the malevolent in their plots by providing them cover. 2. One is more vulnerable to the assault of evil at night than in the day. That is why more crimes are committed during the night than the day. Some have interpreted ghasab as anyone or anything harmful which may attack a person in any way or time whatsoever. Stating the harm of darkness after the harm of what he has created is a case of stating the specific after the general, which shows emphasis and importance. The surah emphasizes 3 specific types of harm: the harm of the nightfall, the harm of the magician's tricks, and the harm of the envier's jealousy. A common denominator of all of them is that people are often unaware and heedless of their occurrence.
وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
And from the harm of witches who blow on knots, al-nafathati fil al-uqad. This verse is about sorcerers who bind their spells on the bewitched through tying knots and blowing on them. Women are specifically mentioned because they used to practice sorcery more than men. This verse confirms that sorcery has some impact. The same can be deducted from the story of Harut and Marut, but they would learn from those 2 that with which they would cause a split between man and his wife, though they could not harm anyone with it except with Allah's leave, as well as the story of Pharaoh's magicians. Another suggested interpretation is women who pursued and pressured their husbands to influence their opinion and incline them towards their own desire. Accordingly, not aqad, which means opinion, view, and blowing on a knot would be a metaphor for weakening the other side's opinion. However, the interpretation is far from what springs to the mind from the text.
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
And from the harm of the envier when he envies. The last part of the verse clarifies that it is about acting upon one's envy and carrying it out in practice, not merely harboring envy and a grudge in one's heart. Some say that the verse also includes the evil eye, because the evil eye is a form of jealousy that materializes in the soul when a person sees something that they find impressive and desirable. Examining narrations. 1. A Jewish man cast a spell on the Prophet which made him ill. Then Gabriel came to him and revealed chapters 113 and 114, called Al-Mizan, the two meanings of seeking refuge. He said, a Jewish man has cast a spell on you, and the knot used for the spell is in such a well. The Prophet sent Ali to bring the knot from the well. He ordered Ali to untie the knots while reciting a verse for each knot that he untied. So Ali began untying while reciting these two chapters until the Prophet could get up as if freed from a bond. Author's commentary. The same idea is found in many Sunni narrations with slight differences. Several accounts say that the Prophet also sent Zubair and Ammar along with Ali. There are also further Shia narrations on this. Some have objected to the content of these narrations by arguing that the Prophet was protected from magic, and God says, and the wrongdoers said, you are just following a bewitched man. Look what analogies they have drawn for you. Thus they have gone astray and cannot find the way. Response. What is meant by bewitched? It is being possessed by demons, or means a kind of magic that renders one insane. However, there is no evidence that the Prophet was also immune from being harmed by magic in terms of physical health and so on. 2. The Prophet often placed Al-Hassan and Al-Hussein under the protective charm of these two surahs. 3. The Messenger of God said, some verses have been revealed to me, the like of which have never been revealed. They are Al-Mi'awwadatan. Author's comment. Perhaps what is meant by not having any like is that these two surahs are the only chapters which are exclusively for seeking protection. There is no other surah with this sole function. 4. Bin Mas'ud used to sketch out these two surahs from the manuscript of the Qur'an, saying, do not mix the Qur'an with things that are not part of it. These two are not part of the book of God. Rather, they were given to the Prophet to seek refuge through them. Ibn Mas'ud did not use to recite them in the prayer. Author's comment. After reporting the above, Al-Shiyuti quotes Al-Bazar. None of the companions agreed with Ibn Mas'ud. It has been established that the Prophet read these two surahs in his prayers, and we have verified that indeed that they were part of the Quranic manuscript. 5. Once Imam al-Baqir was told, Ibn Mas'ud used to erase these two surahs from Quranic manuscripts. The Imam replied, my father used to say, Ibn Mas'ud did that in accordance with his own opinion, otherwise they are part of the Quran. Author's comment. There are many narrations through both Sunni and Shia chains of transmission which express the same idea. Moreover, there is tawatur, consensus, mass transmission that leaves no room for doubt, among all Muslims agreeing that these two chapters are part of the Quran. Some critiques of the miracle of the Quran argue that if the Quran were indeed a miracle of eloquence, then someone like Ibn Mas'ud would not have disagreed over the inclusion of these two surahs in the Qur'an? To this objection, several answers have been given, including 1. We have absolute tawatur here, which is more than sufficient to override and discard Ibn Masud's personal opinion. 2. There are no narrations from Ibn Masud claiming that these two surahs were not sent to the Prophet or that they are not miracle of eloquence. He only argued that they are not part of the Qur'an, a claim which can be safely set aside by tawatur. 6. The Prophet said Falaq is a covered well in hell. 7. The Prophet said Falaq is a gate of hell. When it is opened, it strokes hell. 8. The Prophet said Falaq is a well in hell. When the hellfire flames up, it does so from Falaq. Authors comment. There are further narrations along the same lines. 9. Al-Suri said Falaq is a well in hell. The inmates of hell shall seek refuge from its intense heat. 10. The Messenger of God said, poverty verges on disbelief and envy almost overpowers destiny. Qadr. 11. The Prophet said, envy nearly outstrips destiny. 12. The Prophet of God said, indeed, envy consumes good deeds in the way fire consumes firewood. That's it, guys, from me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do comment below and let me know how I've done. Please do share this with other people so they can find information about the Quran. I have included Al-Mizan's website in the descriptions below. Thank you for watching. Take good care. Bye-bye.